What a glorious, glorious day. Welcome, everyone, to another Traders Community Podcast, and it's a special one today. It's coming in on the glorious Madavi's birthday. Yep, 29. He's 29. He keeps hitting that major chart point. 29 years old, and another day with that glorious trade as we continue to work this bear market down. And so, as you know, a lot of the futures market positions are hitting. We've kept you all up on a lot of the short and a lot of the dirty Dribbler Dozen, the mighty DDD. More reported today and yesterday, so that's been really unbelievable. But there is a method to the madness. We also have probably the greatest birthday song ever. Well, in our little warped little minds. But anyway, today, hang on. I forgot it. Give me a sec. And this is by that great band, the mighty, here we go. Let's play it. I'm not sure if you're going to hear it, so we're going to watch a few seconds.
Love it.
So especially for the great one.
Yeah. Mate's the best.
Which one's the birthday boy?
Gives 30% of his
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, his best
So,
day ever.
Joe by truckers. But
Guy.
What you like? Every skinny
You know?
mystery. Gotta make it hard
So,
somehow.
it's going to be enough for a Tesla or a Lambo they make.
is that how much you made today? Wow.
Down hot shot. I'll solve yous right now.
Yeah, a Tesla's cool, maybe the truck, but
So I'm not.
Lamborghini would be nicer.
So I'm not sure if that came through in our little setup, but basically, drive-by truckers, birthday boy. So back in a former life, a certain friend of mine used to play gridiron football up around Kentucky there, and these guys are from not far from that area. So really fun lyrics. Enjoy it. But so what a great day, Madavi. It keeps going away for us, and we're being very tight. We're taking money off the table on a lot of these shorts, so I don't think we're just cowboying it.
Absolutely. Mate could not do no wrong.
Well,
he could go like the opposite side and throw it 100,000 deep, and that thing would just turn around. He was like Moses parting the water today.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a laugh there. But hey, don't believe everything you hear, but it has been pretty nice, and it's all been technical, as you know. So where are we right now? Well, oil had a solid bounce back to 105 off that 100.
Where are we?
Natty gas is still well bid, 760 after yesterday's reversal from 650. I saw a funny post from Dr. Andre who said Natty is the new AMC, perhaps. On the S&P, we saw it continue to break down after we saw that 4,000 give way. We saw that red hot CPI number that came in higher than expected. It seems everyone wants to believe it's the peak. Perhaps it is the peak, but it doesn't really matter if it's eating everyone's bloody money up. And the Fed, as you saw, did their financial stability report. They mentioned that. And all that stuff's on the Traders Community website. And as a reminder, this podcast comes to you via traderscommunity.com. We have a lot of good news reporters, subscribers about the BS basically on there. No dribblers report there. So anyone tells you otherwise, we'll send them chemo's way. Nasdaq, well under 12,000. That is massive. Trading 11,960 as we speak. And vol, it's like there isn't really the fear you would expect. It's still 31,850. The other, before we we'll talk about futures, let's have a look at this little destruction party going on. So that's ARC Weekly. That's one right there. Look at that. All the way back to that breakup point in 20. So basically, all the people that hung shit on us, Madavi, this is pretty well encapsulated in the RK. Even though you'll see people that are dribblers hang crap on this, but they're buying the same stuff. It's come all the way back. So Sad for those that bought up there. Anyway, what we want to also
Hey,
look
just
at...
more millions for you, brother. More millions.
Oh, you've got all those billions and millions. We all know that. We all know
Sealy
that.
King. There's only can be one Sealy King. You know that.
So here we are on the mighty, mighty Bitcoin. Look at this, trading 28.9, double bottom down here. If we go to the, where is the owl? Are we on the wrong? Oh, we're on the wrong chart. Hang on, punters and dribblers. I got to find Johnny's charts. There they are, crypto. And you can see it spun out of that break we talked about the other day, and it's just continued. That's what happens. And we've nearly, this is just classic stuff here. Classic stuff. Here's Ethereum, just as beautiful. And these are all getting sold off after. Remember, you got to have some backing. You got to have that. And so without further ado, we're going to have Madavi talk about his favorite thing before we look at the futures, and that would be gold. And I thought it would be a good segue after we saw the absolute destruction on those make-believe currencies. And here we are, gold actually performed well with the inflation and got back to the 50 today. What are you thinking of gold, Madavi? Rumor has it you like it.
Gold is golden. You know what they say. There was only one thing that has lasted for the last 8,000 years as value and money has been used by ancient people, modern people. The only one that didn't like it was, what's his name? Nixon.
Nixon, but you can't
Nixon in 71, I think was it August 71, he ditched it,
Well, there is one redeeming feature.
The problem was happening is, the U.S. at that time, I believe, was having they started the war stuff, they had the...
they've never started wars. Fake news, mate, fake news.
And then people started to say, hey, before you could grab your money and you could go to the Federal Reserve and get gold for it, right? So you give your money and you get gold, right? And all of a sudden, I think they ran out of gold and they didn't want people to find out by their little trick. So he put a freeze on it.
Well, I think we have to give him a pass for that. You know why? There's one redeeming feature from Nixon. They even made a movie about it.
Oh, he's a wonderful guy. That's what it is,
Well,
great.
And he gave Elvis Presley an FBI badge. That's all you need to know. That's a good enough redeeming feature.
No. He gave him the drug czar. He became the drug czar.
Oh, yeah. Again, two great things. And there's a great movie. It's called something like, it might be like Nixon and Elvis or something. But yeah. It's a great movie.
Elvis showed up at the White House.
True. It's all true.
It's all true, people. Running around. And Nixon was love. He was like a fan of Elvis. He making him the drug czar.
This is all true, punters and dribblers.
True story.
This is a great dribble story. We could dribble on about this one for half an hour, but we will talk about shares. But while we're here, look at the dribbler metal versus the investors metal. So gold be the investors metal, and here's silver. Look at silver. Trying all its best to hang on for dear life for that double bottom. But compare that to what I just showed you on gold. And copper at least has a real value, so it's got a double bottom potentially. Anyway, let's look at our SPOOs. So that's the Dow. So let's look at our SPOOs. So as we said, we took basically half the SPOOs off in the SPOOs trade and half the NQ trade off. And Madavi's going to talk about that side of it. Before CPI, we got up this morning and the bloody S&P was at 2040. Well, maybe I was Freudian slip. Maybe it will go to 2040. But it was back over 4,040. So we put that half back on the S&P and likewise on the Nasdaq, and he's going to talk about that. Then it was a red hot number, but really it just came in higher than expected. But it was still at one of the highest inflations of all time. And that's all on Traders Community. I think Helmet or someone did an article on it. Anyway, Daily, you can see just all blood, just blood, sweat and tears right there. And what I'm talking about was we've come in, this is a 5-minute chart, so we've come in here, and we're able to put it back on. The machine sold, the market makers got caught long on this shit. They're like, dude, that ain't going to happen. So they managed to get it back up. This is what's great in a bear market. Those that are new to it, that never seen one before, in this case it's even more than ever because of the those COVID payments and everyone's master, all these dribblers that, remember, they thought they were great traders because of that 2 years of dribble. So they bring it back up, market makers smash it, and so we were able to just sit with it. I mean, it's just beautiful, really. Isn't it, Madavi? I mean, it's a gift when you think about it. And then, I mean, you know, I'm trying to be serious here. Let's go to the Nasdaq and have Madavi comment. Where is your Nasdaq page? Here it is. You there, mate? Do you want to walk us through?
Right here.
Do you want to walk us through this picture
Sure.
of beauty? Here's the daily. Well, let's look at the hourly because you can describe what I was talking about. How we, actually 5 minutes. You remember this morning we've come in and neither of us could believe the thing was up. So
I saw it up.
yeah, but we couldn't believe it, right? We're like, what the... So anyway, so here we are, we took profit. So walk us through your Nasdaq. There you go, bud. That's 5 minutes. This is CPI right here.
Hey, I got a feeling this thing could gap up tomorrow. And so I took half of it off. And this morning, it was up 110. And, you know, whatever that number was going to be, they were going to sell this thing off. They just set this thing sold off. I mean, it's like kind of like the whatever the old days, you know, and whatever the number was, it could have been bad, good, or whatever. They were going to buy it.
They weren't going to buy it. You mean they weren't?
No, before you're in like
in the bull days, yeah.
Good news,
100%. Yeah.
And everything was same thing with this. Everything is going to be out here. It's probably going to be interpreted as bad news, most likely. It's just an excuse for them to sell it. Just like back then, it was an excuse for them to buy it. They say, oh, no, because that means the Fed's not going to raise or anything. They're going to keep stimulating if it was bad news. If it was good news, like, see, we're doing good now. So there was no winning, you know? You just got to go one way. Now it's going to be the opposite way. So I figured that was going to happen. So when I saw it up that much, I got back to my full tilt. And, you know, still holding on to that, you know. So just driving around now. I think I'm over, what is it? Like, where are we at right now in the NQs?
We're at 11,970.
2,400 points since I started my short. Actually, 2,225. So I did 14,252. Now we're at 11,958.
I mean, it's been a great trade, and really to come to fruition down here at these levels at -2.8 on the 5 minute. Let's see where that is on the daily. On your birthday, it's pretty incredible timing.
Yeah, great.
I mean, it's worked out pretty well. So on a daily basis, if you remember, the minimum target was this low here, which was yesterday, right? That 12,890. So here we are. Look where we are. This is our secondary target, which is -2.8. We're almost there, which is 11,870. We're at 11,980. So pretty bloody nice. So remember, we use a combination of technical analysis, experience, order flow, however you want to call it, and just good old-fashioned management around that with the herd mentality. That's why we watch the VIX. Madavi's one of the best traders of the VIX I've ever seen. So he reads that really, really well. And that fits in nicely with all this stuff. So, because that gives you an idea of greed and fear, right? So,
when you know, a greedy person can always tell another greedy person.
There's pigs, bears, bulls, and pigs get slaughtered, right?
So, you know, when man could tell anything about it and a lot of stuff too. So when you're greedy, you know, you can tell another one's greedy. You can tell the pigs real quick.
Yeah. So we're not shy of calling a spade in here. So it's funny when we've had over the years we've invited a few dribblers in here, and the tears have been shed. I must admit. I got to admit, well, not by us, but unfortunately, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't help when in our former life we played footy and got in cages and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But well, you might have played footsie.
Loved it.
Love it.
There in the East Coast, West Coast, you know.
So let's have a look at energy before we delve into stocks, because we have lots of stocks. So Natty continued. We know that pattern, right? We're all familiar. We don't spend too much time. Daily, we held on to that reversal today. So that took a few prisoners. And tomorrow we got the EIA number for that. We're sitting right under the Tankin. So if you're trading Natty, use your 5 minutes. Look at all the work it's done, right? Good sideways stuff. Watch your book on that. This is a lot to do with open interest and optionality. Oil. Where's the daily where I can show that nicely? There we are. So daily, we're sitting right under the clown. Look at these brutal reversals. Now just think, we got a government that today, the EIA reported we are at the lowest ever, sorry, the fastest ever emptying of the SPR. That's just, remember what that's meant to be? That's meant to be a safety valve. Just shocking management. They can blame oil and all that all they want. The oil, just unbelievable, disgraceful. Unfortunately, in the partisan nature of the United States, half of them believe that shit. So we are in a difficult situation there.
Great man.
So look at what we did. Minus 1/8, under 98. It gave you a really nice spit there, and we've rallied just consistently up here. We had a little bit of problems here at 102. But you can see what it's doing. It's all technically perfect. I think that's all we need to do there. Let's get onto our stocks, mate, because we've had some really, really good ones. Oh, actually, let's look at bonds real quick. And then we'll look at that little... Oh, that was a nice one. We had a little bonus at the end of the day, didn't we? I'll bring that up in a sec. But you can see bonds. Well, most of you are familiar with yields, so let's look at yields first. So we got to 320 the other day. And even with this inflation, we're at 288. Why is that? Safe haven buying is in vogue. The scary is the economy is destructed and all that sort of stuff. So that's what's going on the 10-year. We had a 10-year auction today. Came in around C. Some people gave it a D. It's probably C minus is what most desks gave it. And tomorrow we have a 30-year, and that's signaled also more selling. So there's a good technical breakdown. And you remember, you can go back and look at these on the YouTube. So make sure you're sharing what we're trying to say here, unless it's just total dribble and no value to you. But share it, subscribe. Hopefully it's value. Okay, today we're going to start off with this little beauty. This little one. My Darby and I have never heard of this stock before in our life. But we are of the bearish persuasion. I go... Pretty well, I would have said it nicely. Hey, APP, what the hell? It's up. They had earnings. We read the earnings real bad. They really missed. They did all this stuff. They were plus 2/8 over 40. So we started to short some of it. It was a free short. Easy to borrow. Marginable. We started to short a little bit, and it went straight to 37. Then it ripped again to 41 because they're doing a buyback, right? So remember, buybacks are kind of like, I'm only buying it because of a buyback. I'm only buying it because of a short squeeze. This one we got lucky on because we had orders. Should I laugh or not? We had orders that didn't get filled, but they got filled on this second swing. So we actually really did well. It came straight down from there to 35. It actually went lower to 32. But so remember that. And Oracle should be a good example of that.
You can't do no wrong.
Well, yeah, remember Oracle did a buyback and it went over 100 or something. Everyone bought it. And then they turned around and bought someone and it just crushed all those people. So if you're a fundamental trader, you want to have good reasons why you buy it. Now, we're going to miss out people like me and Madar, because we're not going to buy all those dribbler stocks and we're going to probably short them and lose on the way up a few times, right? Upstarts and Palantirs, all this shit. But when it's confirmed that it's a short, that's when we hit them, and that's why we created the DDD around Christmas last year. My biggest disappointment, and Madavi gets sick of me whining about it, and so does Roman, right, is that I've basically never been able to short Beyond Meat. Because I just think being a Texan, Australian, Estonian, Irish, whatever, I got all that, how the heck that can be a company where people all bought it. Not only is it a travesty of justice and of culture, but it ain't real and tastes like crap. But I could never short it, mate. And the one times I could, it's like 80% carry cost, right? And here we are, and we're going to show that in a minute. It's like $20 or something, right? From what? We'll look at that one. Anyway, digress, that's app. That's what. So just be wary of that, punters and dribblers. A pro sees this, he's going to smash it. A dribbler's going to see it. I got to buy it, and look what happened, right? And this is all. It just happened to be we're up and we're trading after hours. This is all within 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so we did do a long trade today in the after hours. That was Dutch Brothers. They had earnings today. Bro, do you want to talk us through that one, mate? That was really your little baby. You did good on that. Bros, B-R-O-S.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was looking at these things. Mate calls it out, and, these guys are, I guess, what a coffee shop around the country or something, brother?
Yeah, and I've seen it up in a little town between Houston and the Woodlands called, my brain's escaped me.
Well, anyways, here's the deal. I mean, even shit stocks that could go bankrupt, when they drop 50%, there's got to be a. Well,
I have money, right? Yeah.
At a certain point, guys like, shit, I'm tired of making money. I want to take some profits, right? So I just waited for them to get tired of getting rich. And I go, hey, maybe they're tired here. And maybe they want to buy back a little bit. And it looked like they were pretty full. They were pigs, but they were not super pigs. Actually, 20 points, I mean, even the pigs could get filled up at 20 points.
Right. Well, it was also technically a good level. It hit that -1.8 speed.
Oh, see, what are charts? All emotions of the people.
Yeah, it's measuring that. That's why Murray works. We're measuring. It's a good way to put it. The pigs, actually, the pigs and the panic. What do you call a panicker?
The charts, the signals are telling us, hey, these pigs might be getting full here, or the guys. So and then the idiots over there are going to short the bottom or get out of the bottom.
I think anyone would short it down here, do you? Maybe.
People will do that. People do a lot of things, or people are holding the stock and
there's definitely that.
And they get out. Then all of a sudden they see it running up. They get back in. So you got those guys in here too, and that's where you get these movements. You got the shorts coming. So I figured it was going to bounce back 2 or 3 points. I didn't get as many shares as Mate did, but
that is a white lie, my friend. That is a white lie.
And then rolled it up, enjoyed it. Same thing with.
I will just say this for the punters and dribblers: the truth is, you had 12 times what I had. So let's be real.
Well,
you had 24 times more than what Roman had.
I had some making up to do. It's my birthday.
So the truth comes out. Actually, just looking at this stock real quickly, this was a new IPO last year, and it looks like it came on and ran all the way. Wow, pity we didn't look at this back then. It would have been a great short. It went to +2.8 on a daily at over $80. Look at that, bro. 82, 81. So it came off. And I saw this. I've seen this in the real world, in the world, as they say. At a little place, not for those from Texas, but between Houston and Woodlands. Little country place. And I go past this, it's tiny and there's never anyone there. So I've always thought, that's got to be a short. There's got to be a short. So in reality, we all should have been short this at 48.50. But we weren't. I'd love to say we were. I think we might have played some puts on it once or twice. So really, we should have been short for this. But anyway, the trade we did today was just basically this little scalp down here, right? So it was a nice trade. So another one which Madavi did today was Disney had earnings today. This is a daily chart. Let me get you an hour, 5-minute chart. So they had earnings.
I didn't do as many as Mate did, but again,
I did not trade these. Why? We're letting him tell porky pies today.
I just want to make sure I got know which ones you're in for my 30% of it there. You know?
Right, wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Okay, here is Disney. So earnings came out right here. Do you want to walk us through that one?
Sure. Well, Disney came in. This stock, man. This stock when all the parks were shut, everything like that, and the stock they were running the hell out of it, and because of that reruns they call Disney Channel. I mean, they have one good movie on, and then there's reruns, and these guys were just talking about how fantastic it is. This thing was making new highs and everything. All the parks are closed. They're going to the streaming business that they're playing 80-year-old movies on one new movie.
I guess that's here when it went over 200. Wow.
And now what they do with that is they first charge you. They gave you one for free. Now they charge you for their new movies. You know, for the first few weeks, now you got to pay.
There's a joke there about marriage, but I'll leave it alone. Okay.
Then they release it to you. They were so greedy even during the pandemic. They were skipping the theaters, which is bad for the actors and everything. So it was a loss.
Yeah. That's what's her name? Johansson. Yeah.
Because hey, you're supposed to put it out in the theaters, not straight to the thing where you guys get all the money. And she didn't have a contract with them. But they ended up having to settle with her. They knew they were going to lose that battle.
Well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, and she's probably done now. You think about it.
Oh, she's so greedy. She was gonna,
yeah.
The fake news, the propaganda.
Well, to be fair, she's kind of one of your favorites, and you have posters all over your room of her. So
problems, Eisner and that new CEO guy. I don't think their honeymoon period is over. Eisner gave him the job, and I guess
So all good and well. So today, what you do, you scout from memory. You shorted it on the spike, right? Yeah.
So basically, these stocks are all downtrending, just like this. When it first came out, all the guys came in there.
It's down 50% from that high.
It ran up to 109, 110, and I shorted it first there. Then it came back off, and I was not getting filled. And it went to 106. I covered 1,000. Then it ran back up to 110.5. Then I covered another bit of mine. Then I think it ran up one more time, and I shorted the same amount. Then I wrote it all the way down to from 105. It started covering all the way down to 101, 100. So I think I got my last share at 180 or something. Then I got long, whatever the amount of shares I was getting long. And I wrote that up to like 102, 103, then 103.80, I think was my last one out. So it's playing in that range. I never saw it break the 100. So that's how I knew is, hey, if this doesn't break the 100, we're probably going to bounce near there. And this thing was going to when it got down to 102, 101, I thought it would make a test for this 100. Now I don't even know what the low is. I'm going to check right now.
It looks like 115 maybe. Yeah.
So I knew it was going to get attracted to that number. But the problem is at 120, you don't know how long it's going to stay there and if you're able to get covered or get anything. So you got to leave yourself some room because it goes to 120. Doesn't mean everybody and their mother is going to get filled there. There can be 500 fills there.
Yeah, and that's an important thing is sometimes you just don't get filled. And sometimes Madavi will get filled and I won't, for example, too. Just loan, and we're trading exactly the same time.
This stock was kind of hard to get filled because I wanted good pricing. If I wanted shitty pricing, I could have got up and got it. But, the bids would never come down, look strong. They'll try to wear out your patience, But
100%.
I was in a good position, so I could be patient. I could let them come to me. and especially after I've done a couple of trades, caught a little lead on it. You know, that's the most important thing. If you catch a lead on any of your trades, it'll make the rest of the trades very comfortable.
Yeah, and remember the game's mental, right? So we kind of talk a little bit silly at times, but we're very disciplined, and the sports background, I think, gives you a real hardness that you need to have, right? You know, there's an old saying in Australia, harden the F up. And what it means isn't just being silly and punch drunk. It just means to be real. It's to keep it real, right? And so that's also important with sizing and everything, because anything that can get you off that can get you off your game a little bit. So they were the three we did after hours. What else? Oh, we also traded.
Lover, mate's the fighter, you know?
Hey, whatever. Talking about lovers and fighters, we also traded Bumble, which had earnings today. BMBL, right? So here's something we don't normally do, but except in a bear market, you can do this. So a lot of these stocks, as you've shown, they're absolutely been wrecked on earnings. We saw Bro just there, Brothers or Bros, whatever you want to call it. We saw just so many just being cut in half. So we made a decision to put a small position on before the number in case of a short, in case it failed, and then take the side, okay, if it rips up, once the momentum runs out, put on a proper size position. So as you can see, this popped up $2, or was it $3 from here to there? So obviously you're down on some of it, and then it worked back into the median right here. You're able to make the decision there. Do you cover it flat? None of these companies make money. It's all bullshit, basically, the way they judge them, which works good in a bull market. More users, more that. At the end of the day, you got to be making money to sustain tech and growth, particularly in a high inflation environment. You read through any of these guys' reports, it's all about higher costs, it's all about Ukraine, it's all this stuff, right? We saw with App just before it how they justify their means. They just buy stocks back. What was that one today? The accounting company.
Which one?
The one that went up $5 today.
$5? Oh,
what was it? Yeah. You short. We shorted it. The accounting.
It's a block.
Yeah. H&R Block. So
yeah.
So same thing. And really, you just think they talk about a broken society, and we know it is that partisan politics. They can redirect and whatever it may be, right, with human rights. So they do it. Yeah, they have earnings and they're buying stocks back when they really need money in case it goes to shit. But no, we'll buy stocks, right?
The big news is they joined the club.
Oh, some capitalist club. I saw that. Yeah.
So
capitalism club.
When they say they joined that club, man, these guys are just...
The capitalism or something. So, at the end of it, well, let's look at that. So here's Bumble. So let's see how that plays out with...
You Bumble a lot, mate? How
I don't know. Yeah, I think you might because...
I see your profile.
Yeah, whatever, dude. H&R Block. I didn't even know what it was. So you told me. I thought it was an agricultural stock. And then you told me it's a tech stock, so you got to short it. So here we are on H&R Block. So H&R Block... HRB, right? That's him?
HRB, yeah, that's it. There's only stock that's up $5.
Not hard to find, right? So let's look at this on a daily basis. So this stock had earnings and it rocked up 52-week highs or whatever. I don't know if it's 52 highs, but it's up on a day. And so it's down here at 23.60 getting smacked. So you talk about fake news and manipulating markets, but it's all right if you do it on the long side. So what do these blokes do? Oh, we're going to buy them all back. And, as Abu said, They joined some capitalism club which none of us have heard of before. Sounds like
that's a big deal, man. I mean, it had earnings, but I didn't see them run for their earnings. But when they joined that club,
well, they joined the club and did a massive buyback, right? So let's piss all our money against the wall in case it all goes. Because remember, these are just an accounting type firm. Look how they were doing. Nothing, 20, Then they ran up with the dribbles because they became a dividend stock or something, I'm assuming. Then they sold off with the market, right?
You got to get those guys to buy. They're not going to buy if there's no one coming after them to buy. Those guys
right. So that's what's going on with that. So the odds are that this pulls back. It may take a bit of time. Look where it is. So here's what it did on those earnings. If you're looking at a 5-minute chart, it's plus 1.8. So there's your value. 50% of that brings it in. So what did I say? Plus 1.8. 08 is down here at $25. It's 28. It's 27. So that's the games that are going on. And so the SEC ain't going to say nothing about that. But they will say about other stuff. They love that. They're in that club, no doubt, right?
You got immunity, bro. Once you join that club, capitalism club, you got immunity, bro. You know? Everybody wants to
I love it. Let's have a look at some of our other stocks. We're not in this one, but we watch it in the video. This is one we all love. This is a great stock. Remember this one? Had it forever at like $12. Kids retirement, blah, blah, blah. Felt like a champion. Was it here I got out? Do you remember? 220, 240, like in the long term. Goes to 160, 180 or something like that. Johnny, remember? I told you to sell it. Then look at that. In your face. Ran to 340.
Damn.
Without us. Remember that? I think Johnny owned... Mate, Johnny would remind us every day how we said the video was an overpriced piece of shit. We didn't say the last bit.
He's a shamer.
And he shamed the hell out of us. The hell out of us. We're crying, oh man, all that money. Yeah, blah, blah. And look where it is today. All the way back to 165. Anyway, all jokes aside... it's a great... I'll give you the tip. All these sort of tech things get us Luddite. They miss Luddites like me and Madavi. But anyway, here we are. So we're watching that, semis, all jokes aside. Look where it is. And this is a lot to do with NAS. Is it that, what did John Rome pointed out? 12 thou. And so this is part of that. Really, and today, the title of of today's podcast is CPI, Apple, and Tesla fuel more market wreckage. And I guess we can drag this over. So this is, you're watching yourself here, mate. This is YouTube. So Tesla was down 8% today. Apple was down 5%. And you can see also as we look at that, the Nvidia's at that big weekly level. And we saw destruction in more of the DDDs today. So remember, that's a reverse index because that's a short portfolio we have. So Coin was down 26% today that's in it. Tesla, who's the other one that's in it? Oh, Unity, 37%. And actually Johnny, I think, still short Coin. Actually, I talked to him before. I think he's doing work or he's been summoned by she who must be obeyed, perhaps. I'm not sure, Madavi. Or maybe he's headed over your place for a surprise birthday. Whoops. Shit. Did I say that? Didn't mean to say that. And so others of our DDD are still getting pounded. We saw a bunch of them go by. And we're starting to take some of these in or write puts against them. So let's go through a couple of those real quick. So there's Unity, which we know reported yesterday. Symbol U. This one's just been a... So don't think... Some of these we're in for a long time, right? It's not instant. But it looks like that because usually when they start working, it happens very, very fast. So this is Unity. So only as far back as April, Unity software was $108. Right? So we've been very fortunate with some of these. Today it's at 30.18 and we took some in. via selling puts. And I think you traded this one alongside today and made some money, right, mate? Unity? I remember you trading that.
I traded it once or twice. Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah.
And I got it at 34.
So this is a dribbler. So we're up 70, 80% on some of these stocks in a portfolio. Without margin, right? Without margin. Just to put that point out there. Some of this stuff's a little bit margin. It becomes it. I mean, one of the ones, and a buddy of ours is short over 1 million shares in his fund on this little dribbler. Palantir, which is against a lot of our morals. We can never understand why. So this is Palantir. Is that how you say it? Palantir?
Palantir.
So, yeah. So this one, we are, the exact short on this is 27.22, and our buddy is short this at 27.32, 1 million times. So he's had a pretty, that's one of the great trades. He's made over 22 million on this, right? But today we're updating this, and this didn't enter the dirty DDDs. Remember, they got to break down. We don't just punt them for the sake of it. So this is where it broke down. I would have loved to say we're short at plus 2.8, 43.74, where I believe your friend Peter Thiel, Elon Musk buddy from, what's the name of that company? PayPal, shorted some of this. Didn't he sell a bunch over $40, almost near the high? Isn't that correct? Yeah. Am I speaking out of tune? I don't think I am. No. So anyway, we added to this around $18, and then I think we got hit on some puts. I'm going a lot on memory, so correct me if I'm wrong, Madami. Around 10, 12, and then it got back at 14. So we're being consistent, and I know you smashed this again just before earnings the other day. Around $10.
I get smashed or I smash it. You know, there are only two ways that happens. Usually I'm getting smashed, but sometimes I get one on them.
Right, so that's what DD. So the key is with the shorts, and Madavi he thought this market was turning over a little bit, took some losses last year, then rebuilt long, short, however, and has just killed it this year. As you've all seen live, full disclosure with what we do. So you see it. We're very transparent, which most people aren't, of what we're doing. So this one's been a gift. This is now under $7. So Unity, Palantir, one of my favourites, were very rewarding, has been Path, UPath. We put this short on. We traded this, actually, Johnny always reminds me, we traded this long on the day it went public. And as soon as we were able to short it, started to build up a short position. You know my view on all this shit. So, Path, we actually took some in on this today. We got hit on, was it yesterday or today? I think today. And yesterday we got hit on some length on that. So it's not as if we just blindly stay short saying it's going to go to zero. So Path, as you can see, this is one of our, I'd have to say one of our best shorts, mate. This piece of shit. AI. And so this is a company that to quote the great Peter, and if you don't know who the great Peter is, perhaps you be very disturbing that you should. He has a young child, Stewie. He would very... we're having a bit of fun. It is someone's birthday today. But
kill it.
We shorted this thing prior here at like 145, remember? AI, and it ripped in the freaking face. All the way up here to 170, and then started to add to it aggressively on the way down. I've been selling small amounts all the way to now have a decent position. That one actually hit a target today under $15. It actually went under $14, sorry. Was it $13.98? Yeah, so that traded a little bit lower. But you can see this is minus 3/8 so from plus 2/8. So great share, but it tells you got to buy some in. This thing could just keep going to zero, as we know. They might have good technology, so they might get bought out. They might get private. That's always the risk of these things. These were all SPACs or IPOs. That fills our game. But
they're the best when they go zero because there's a special.
Yeah. The tax, call the IRS and they'll fill you in what that special thing he's talking about. Because as I forgot to mention, we do not give financial advice. We do not give tech advice.
He does private classes on that. You got
Johnny might, but you and I don't. Johnny knows that very well. So yes, in this secondary line of business.
Everybody, I'm serious, should definitely text him and ask him when his next class is on that.
Yeah, 100%. So look what this did. You want to see a good weekly daily technical? Broke the 50 and it's come back and testing it. What other ones did we have? We should go through it today. It is your birthday. Task was another one we pounded, and I think this was alerted to us by our master dribbler, if I remember correctly, right? So Task turned out was a Texas company. We did a bit of groundwork on it. I think they're Dallas.
You didn't buy the best trade of them all, EMBK.
Oh, I will go through your one long that you've been talking about non-step. That is from Houston or Dallas. And full disclosure, I do not own this company. There may be a point where I get muscled into buying it, but at this point I do not know it. The glorious one has been buying it. He's had lots of profits from all these futures profits to do. Anyway, Task, we did take some back here. Minus 1/8, not much, small percentage. I would love to say we're short up here. We're not, as I went through the other day. We're short in the 50s. Bang. Who else in the dribbler? Oh, Coin, of course. I think we already talked about Coin. I think we might have. But let's update it. It's not often that you have a great short portfolio that works out like this. And we've had experience, a discipline. And no, this time is not different. And that's all we kept getting told. Here's Coin. So Kathy Woods bought this in the IPO, I believe, but I know she bought it on the day. We did trade a little bit that. We didn't hold it short. This didn't go into the dribblers' positions to around here, and only small, 250 when it was up, and it was like, really small positions. Really, me personally, I've only traded it here. Remember that day on the IPO? We bought it and we couldn't short it, so we had to trade it from long. This is when we were allowed to short it, I think. Is that why we shorted it, Madavi? Do you remember? We started trading from the short side? Yeah. But Coin was around 250, right?
You got to remember, Coin was like $400 stock.
Yeah, but we couldn't short it there because it was an IPO. That was back here.
Yeah. Well, the first day it came out, Coin was at 280. It went to like 480 or something, 420.
429, it looks like. Yeah. So the Cafe might have bought some there.
Trade. Everybody's saying that's the first Bitcoin, whatever, but the thing that kept on happening is people kept on breaking in that account, stealing everybody's money, and Coin wouldn't answer the phone. So,
is that what happened? So I noticed it trades exactly with Bitcoin, and one of the reasons we were really short and bearish on Riot and Mara was because, see this negative divergence? Yeah. It was a great short. Actually, Madavi and I cried around here. Cried with pride and joy. Do you remember why? It was Coin. A certain friend of ours would never short a bloody thing. Never short a thing. And it took a long time to fully join the dark side. But he did short up here. And that's Johnny. Put on some shorts up here on 340, 350 on the Coin.
Smart man. So, I would never go long anything.
No, we as Chemo reminded, you're not welcome in the traders community, the SOS trade, the Novaway, all that stuff, California Trading Office, and if you are not a shorter, so you got to be a shorter. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so we sold off pretty well. So we did some there. We didn't enter the DDDs till around here. Remember that that was when we all just said, this is all when we were convinced this big short was happening was right around the end of last year. And that turned because we saw a few things, if you want to fill in, how broken it was when we had Fed governors shorting, and there's articles about that on, getting out of their long positions.
I thought that was just the perks of the job.
Yeah, I thought, whatever. Yeah.
Wrong with that personally.
Yeah.
You're going to get up there.
And that's the difference between you and me, right? You're more forgiving on that sort of shit. But anyway, it gave a great reason. If those blokes are selling and they're running the whole scam, the game, did I say scam? The whole game, then that's a pretty good reason to start getting short. So, my view on Bitcoin's pretty clear anyway.
I mean, look out everywhere else that's what everybody else does.
No, other central banks don't do it. Maybe Russia, Bank of Russia might, but
I'm just talking about this whole government. It doesn't matter.
The US, yeah.
They're just rotting from every corner.
Oh, Pelosi. What's her name? Pelosi.
Anywhere.
Yeah, she's shorting it. Yeah, how's her Tesla position? You might want to give her a ring. Give her a ring. Give Newsom, Newsom. Give Newsom a ring. See how the mother, auntie, whatever she is. Anyway, look at this. Look at this. Bang, 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 bang. So the second big short on this was around 200. And then yesterday, obviously became a lot of people shorted this as well on earnings. So it happened when this stuff falls, it's very fast. And people out there, the dribblers mocked people that trade from the short side. Now, I'll give you a little tip. Every good, great bond, commodity, currency trader I know, and I know of some of the very, very best, that have made money that you just be shocked, do it from the short side. Stocks, a few of them, great ones. But when it goes in stocks, it's more difficult because you got the dribbler fraternity. And what's beautiful about the FinTwit and there are the TV sort of stuff that goes with that, the Kramers, is that they mock people that are shorts. They mock them. And I've told you before about a guy who goes by Wifey on Twitter, just nailed all this shit. Every time there's some kind of bounce, they mock him, bear porn, all this. They don't get it. And it tells me they're not legitimate. And we all know some of the blokes we're talking about. And they cost people money. Then they try to make out they don't. Bugger them. Anyway, look at this. That's one dribbler. Coin obviously has more to go. It's a 52. Another one of this that's in it is Hood. And actually, I got to say, one of our really great trades, if I can say it, without you getting too emotional about it, was Hood when they had earnings. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So, this is a while ago, punters and dribblers, but this move here, we never bought it. Actually, I want to say Johnny got this in the IPO or close to it. Didn't he get this at 45? But anyway, we bought it because it got back to this level, and we just believed the dribblers would push it up. Oh yeah, he did. But remember this? And we come in and it gapped up over $80. Do you remember this? And we were able to actually exit. It wasn't a hell of a lot of shares. But we were luckiest bastards that ever walked. So we get out of it at 85. The next day, I'm pretty sure the very next day, the people that lent Robinhood all that money when they had all the problems, which cost us money, if you remember, on Nokia and stuff, they turned around and did a secondary or something. I can't remember exact details. The bottom line is, that was it. That was the high. Never looked back. We have traded this thing from the short side ever since the Glorious One and I, either by puts or just pounding it when we can short it. And it ended officially, it was an early starter, and that's of our short, so we just short. And it was part of the formation of the DDD, really, up around the 40s, remember? And it's powered its way down. And we actually added to this with puts the other day, like 850 puts. And Johnny's in those. He killed it. And here's a good way to take profit. Here's how we took profit on some of this today. There's such a demand for puts on this shit, because it is shit, and a lot of people don't want to sell the stock. So they buy puts to hedge themselves, to pretend that they're, hey, I'm not really long, I own puts. But sir, you still own the stock, and you're paying 150 vol for your put. Oh, no, but I'm not long. Oh, okay. So we were able to sell puts expiring this Friday. Remember, Madab? 750 puts for like freaking 40 cents or something. So that's a good way to lock in your profit. So worst way you've got, and this is, believe me, what I'm telling you is what happens in the good desks. The good desks, be they at Citadel, at Goldman, at Morgan, some of the other really good funds that are funds that trade, not just people that just bought stocks and are just getting whacked on it, right? So,
Wacko Cooley.
what's that show? Billions, there's a bit of that. Some of it's about not so good stuff like the Steve Cohens and all that, that different rules. But you'll see some good stuff. And so this is a good example because we actually did that in the last 24 hours. That exact trade, bought 850s and 9s and covered them by doing that. And what it does, you've paid for the whole option in a day on something expiring on Friday, right? So they could go worthless, who knows? Or you just get the premium, right? So anyway, that's a good example. And we'll look at a 5-minute. You'll see what I'm talking about. So it busts that shelf.
Bust the rhyme.
It Buster Rhymes. A great man that I've met a few times out and about in Houston. Great man. Funny, one of the funniest bastards you'll ever meet. Actually, you know who I met? So here, punters and dribblers, for those of a certain age, you'll know certain rappers, right? So if you're from California, you obviously know Snoop and guys like that. And so, but remember here you had, what was the other good one? I mean, Fight the Power. Remember that little man?
Oh, yeah.
So Flavor Flav, you often see around about down here over the years, and Busta Rhymes obviously from here as well. And there's a lot in the modern era with the cough. Sorry, did I say coffee? Cough with Paul Wall, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, how did we get onto that freaking dribble? That is why
Did you hear me?
we welcome dribbles. What was that?
What do you call them? Death Row Records.
Yeah. Well, so that was the big fellas in the big house. What's his name?
No, yeah, they should
He hung the boy from Dallas over the balcony. Vanilla Ice.
It was Vanilla Ice. He's
he's from Dallas, right?
Put him up to L.A. over there in that.
But he's from Dallas. Is all I mean.
He hung him off there.
Yeah. So he's gone on. I don't know the bloke, never met him, but he's gone on and been real successful in real estate, from what I understand. So, whatever his real name is. But
good night. I see him in Vegas. I saw him get knocked out by some little skinny black guy. Poof! Knocked him out.
Boom, baby. That was in your cage fighting days.
No. He was at Dre's. I don't even know. I was watching him.
Yeah. I do remember that story now. Yeah.
Then I seen him one night. Suge Knight had a knife against his girlfriend's throat or something out in the middle of the street.
Good times, good stories, good dribble. So look at, but let's stick to the on point. So we're talking about Hood here at hit 8 -3/8. We've sold 750 puts expiring in 2 days, between 30 up to 55 cents. I think I know I saw 30s and 45s. We did. Johnny might have done some a little bit higher, but there we go. So that's the sort of thing we do. Did we cover all the dribbles? I think we cover most of them. We can't bore you with them all. So I think that's everything we wanted to share. Is there anything else, mate?
Yep. My birthday will be over with if we go through any more.
Yeah. One little thing we started off with, RK. Have a look at that destruction. Yeah. So 29th birthday. Congratulations, mate. Another major chart point. So just a heads up, that 29 chart point just can't seem to get through with us. That's probably why we never grow up, right? We still think we're young fellas. Anyway, day trade. Here we'll go out with where we are. 760.50 Natty, 105.73 WTI, CL, however you know it. The Oklahoma Cushing oil that you all know, US crude. There you go. Enough oil dribble. 39.43, the mighty spoos. Just locked and loaded all down here. Nasdaq still under 12,000, 11,995. Got down 11,960 on the hunch. Vol that. We got our buddy here who, if you remember, that's quite the roar there. A lot of people made fun of it. So, what we're expecting, and be on the lookout of that, that's why we take profit, and we don't telling us you're not to be too much of a pig, is you do in bear market rallies can be brutal. We've seen them, as you've seen already, just in the last few weeks, we've shared on the podcast, 500 handles, 600 handles on the Nasdaq, 100. We saw an 80 handle rally yesterday, didn't we, on the spoos? And they give it up. And so, as you can see, they're fast, they're furious, and they can be brutal. So, sometimes you just got to take profit, and if it goes lower, it goes lower. As we know, some of the stuff we shared were brought back, and how you can buy them straight back into options. So, my friend, we're going to finish out with that glorious song the truckers have for you on your birthday. So remember, the drive-by truckers. So back in the day, this young man here spent a little bit of time at a certain university over in a certain part of America, and these blokes are from that area, and this song, rumor has it, was written by you. Now, about you, sorry. And if you listen to the lyrics, you'll all know who they're referring to and what they're referring to. But a bit of fun. So we're going to go out with Birthday Boy by the Drive-By Truckers, or the Truckers.
I can turn anyone
And
into a beach bomb.
Oh, so we got an ad on here. What's that ad? Skip that ad. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
So happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
Great day's trading again.
Big, glorious.
A glorious day for the glorious one.
If you want to make feel like in the Bible Belt, bring a couple of your rattlesnakes.
There you go.
You know, you crazy guys over there, like, I don't know, man. We don't play with snakes like that, but...
So this is from 2012. This is a different concert to the one you were at. This is in Michigan, I saw.
Oh, wow.
But it is that song, and people listen to the lyrics, look them up. You'll know what we're singing about.
Yeah.
So on that note, we're going to leave you so we don't run into some royalty situation. Actually having to pay royalty.
If you want to know if you have sin, go play with a rattle. If the rattle is let me go. Comes from makes back of woods over there.
So on that note, remember, like, subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are benefiting from the market. We do have PPI out tomorrow, but hey, I ain't talking. This is for the birthday boy.
This is for the birthday tonight.
We were going to play the Beatles song, but they would have wanted royalties.
Yeah.
So thank you, Truckers. One of the great American bands, Drive-By Truckers. Birthday boy for the glorious Madavi. One of the great short traders. Good job.